Well, look at that repair lineup. Let's see what all is here. So those first three saws all belong to the same person. 391, an MS170, and a 391, and none of them will start. So we're going to start with them first thing today. That's a 261 that got hit by a skid steer. I have already ordered parts for it. A Husky 562 that makes some kind of bad noise. And there's an old Stihl 038 that is hard to start. Stihl 461 for a service. That's just a combi unit in here for service. There's a 2-man Hornet here for service. There's an 026, an 026, an 024, an MS260. There's an Echo CS 680. I don't know what happened to this. Something bad happened. He was blaming his wife for it. Hopefully she doesn't see that episode. MS261 that won't start. MS261 that won't start. And some parts that came with that 261. I am going to be busy. So these three saws are up next. I'll see you at the workbench. Hey there. Welcome back to my workbench. My name is Erica, and I'm so glad that you're here. Today in the bench, I have 3 chainsaws that are owned by the same person, and he says none of them will start for him. So we have an MS170 that looks like it's never cut wood before, but there is fuel in the tank. There is fuel in all of them. So this was bought new from me last year. I just don't think he's ever used it. A 391 that was bought new from me last year as well. He says it won't start. And a 391 that was bought a few years ago and also won't start. So I don't know how this is going to go. This could be, maybe I go outside and they all start for me. Maybe none of them start. Maybe this will be 3 videos, maybe 1 video. I don't know, but we'll see how this goes. So come along with me and let's find out why none of these saws will start. Well, let's start with his MS170. See if we can get this thing fired up. So this saw has never cut wood. So let's just check the fuel in it. Make sure there's bar oil in it. And then we'll step outside with it and see if it'll start for us. Got a clean container here I'll dump the fuel into. So this fuel, it looks good. I don't see any water in it. It smells okay. It's a little bit strong smelling, like it may be older. This could be my fuel that I put in it when he bought this 13 months ago. This could be his fuel. I don't know. The chain of custody has been broken. I haven't seen the saw in over a year. So we'll put this fuel back in it, take it outside, and see if it starts for us. And if it doesn't, then we'll just go from there. Fuel tank is spotless inside. Just make sure there's bar oil in it, and we'll head out. Yep, lots of bar oil. Okay, I'll meet you outside. Well, that MS170 starts and runs and oils. I just don't think he's used it at all since he bought it. And there's a very good chance that's my fuel in it. I looked back through my invoicing and he bought this 13 months ago. So what I am going to do is dump that fuel out of it. So this little saw, I'm going to put Stihl motor mix in it. I call it storage fuel. It's good for storage. If you're going to have a saw sitting and not using it, this is a good way to store it. He mentioned that he uses the big saws, but that this saw does not obviously get used. He hasn't used it. All right, 170 off the bench, and I'll grab the next saw. Okay, next up is a 391, and he bought this at the same time as that MS170, but he has obviously cut some wood with it. And he says this one won't start either. So let's check out the fuel. Just grab a container and we'll dump it out. Yeah, I've got a clean container here. Fuel tank is pretty clean. A couple specks of dirt in the bottom there, but nothing really to speak of. And there's a little bit of dirt in this fuel. So same as the 170, like there was the chance that was my fuel. We don't really know. Now he has used this saw and there's dirt in the fuel, so I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't see any water in it. Looks okay. Has a bit of a strong smell to it. I don't really like the smell of it, but there's no water. So I think what I'll do is I'll put it back in. We'll go outside and try to start it. And if it won't start, then we'll go from there. Now I see red bar oil everywhere. And we don't use red bar oil here. And this would have left with bar oil in it. So he's obviously put oil in it. So there's a good chance he's put fuel in it. So I'll just put his fuel back in and we'll head back out into the night. See if it'll start for us. See, there's a little bit of dirt in that fuel. So there's a very good chance this is not the fuel that it left with. Now let's check his bar oil. Yep, there is bar oil in it. All right, I'll meet you outside. Okay, well, this thing starts and runs. We can take a quick look at his air filter. I don't expect that we'll find any problem under here, but we'll just take a quick peek. A little bit of dirt. I'll just clean that up and put it back in. Okay, air filter's been blown out. So far, I don't really know why these saws are here. Maybe he just wanted to see me. I don't know. So that fuel in there has a bit of dirt in it, and it has a funny smell to it. I think it's old. I'm going to dump it out, put my fresh mix in it, and then I guess this one is ready to go. Okay, so this 391 starts and runs. We have cleaned his air filter, dumped his fuel out, put some fresh fuel in it. That's all it was here for. Wouldn't start. Now it starts. So I guess this one's good. Let's grab the next 391. Okay, another MS391, and this would be the oldest of the bunch. Not that it's old. This saw is a 2021, made in 21. I don't think this saw was bought from us though. And he says it won't start. So, same thing. Let's check out his fuel. Just go grab a clean container. Yeah, there's a bit of dirt in that tank. Possibly some water. Okay, so this fuel is murky, dirty, and stinky. And there is dirt and a puddle of water down the bottom of that fuel tank. We just grab something and we'll suck that water out. I'll just use this and I'll see if I can suck it out. I'll just put it in that glass container so we can have a look at it. See the yellowish stuff there? Okay, well there's what came out of the bottom of the tank. So some chunks of dirt, and the yellow is water. I'm going to go over to the air compressor and just blow the little bit of dirt left in that tank out. I'll be right back. Okay, the tank's been blown out. It's clean and dry in there. I'm going to just quickly pop this top cover off, and let's just take a quick look underneath here and see what we have going on. Okay. Dirty, but we've seen worse. I'm going to put some fresh mix in this, and then we'll check the bar oil and pop outside, see if this thing will fire up for us. Lots of red bar oil in there. Okay, I'll meet you outside. Well, that 391 starts and runs, no problem. So stale, watery fuel, I guess, is to blame. I'll give that air filter a clean out since it's right there in front of me. I think I'll replace that fuel filter as well. It was sitting down there in water. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. That fuel filter part number, there's the Stihl part number. Okay, so we got fresh fuel, water and dirt all cleaned out of the tank, a new fuel filter, his air filter cleaned, and this thing starts and runs without an issue. Okay, so we had 3 saws here, and the only thing they were here for is that they wouldn't start. All 3 start, all 3 run. Really just fuel issues, stale fuel, water, dirt. I guess that's to blame. This man may have called Stihl, and he may have said, my 3 saws won't start, and Stihl may have told him to go to his nearest Stihl dealer. So that's what he did, and I think he's back in business. Well, I think that's it for these 3 saws. These came in from one customer who said he couldn't start any of them. So mainly, we found some old, stinky, dirty, watery fuel in them. We replaced the fuel in all of them. I put Moto Mix storage fuel in the little one because I don't think he's going to use it. The 2 big ones got fresh fuel. One of them had a watery puddle in the bottom of the tank, so I replaced the fuel filter in that one. Cleaned the air filters in both of them. This little one's never cut wood before. So they were all here because they wouldn't start, and they're all leaving in starting and running condition. So I guess it's on to the next saw. I have a whole line over there waiting for me. It's time for a fresh coffee and get back to work. Thank you so much for watching.